Welcome to battle number 6 of week number 2 of the FnF Oreburgh Gate Draft League preseason. This battle is going to be pitting Noob Scrub's team, which is the E-level gamers, versus Benji's team, which is the Star Conquerors. The Z Pokemon available in this battle is Ivysaur with Z Any Privilege, and then Lairon with Z Any Privilege, as well as Seadra with Z Attack Privilege. This is going to be a battle between two brothers. This is actually the first time we see Benji and Noob Scrub face off versus each other, so that'll be a pretty interesting one. And I think it'll show just how far both of them have come. Both of them trying to improve in their Pokemon throughout both seasons of the league, and I think they've both done a good job in doing it. So let's take a look at some of these Pokemon. First of all, it does look like Shellos will be pretty useful for Noob Scrub, considering Lairon, Quilava, Solrock, and Seadra, because of Water Absorb, will be Storm Drain will have a hard time breaking through Seadra. I also think that Ivysaur could be a valuable asset. Cryogonal does pose quite a bit of a threat to the team, just because it has ice moves, including Freeze Dry, which can harm Shellos and Ivysaur. As well as, I do believe it gets access to Water Pulse, but regardless, it does have very nice special defense, so Cryogonal is definitely going to be a Pokemon that I'm looking out for. And then, as well as Seadra. Seadra looks like it could be pretty good in this, considering there are two Fire types and a Ground type. So both sides do have Pokemon that can be used promising against one another. Finally, Oreburgh actually will be pretty good with Mold Breaker, being able to hit through Levitate, so that's also a Pokemon to watch out for, as it hits a lot of things really effectively. So let's jump into this battle and see how it goes. Alright, so we start with Combuskin and Agnactor, the shiny Solrock. Combuskin's going to switch out into Bronzer, and Agnactor, I'm going to guess, is going to go for a Stealth Rock. Actually, no, for a Will-O-Wisp. Interesting choice. Will-O-Wisp actually wouldn't have hit Combuskin, so that was definitely banking on that switch away from Combuskin. Bronzer now burned. Stealth Rock is now up. Notice how Bronzer only took a little bit of damage from that burn. This is definitely a heat-proof Bronzer and not a Levitate Bronzer, due to the fact that it only took about half of that damage from that burn, only 3%. And Toxic is now on Agnactor, who goes for the Flare Blitz, doing only 15%. Definitely a heat-proof Bronzor, showing what heat-proof can do. Gyro Ball, not really doing that much on Solrock, though, due to that burn. However, Toxic is going to bring it down a little bit, and Agnactor is now lower than Bronzor in health. Akantor, the Jangmo, though, however, is going to come in, and Bronzor is going to go for a Protect, but that Protect does not protect it from anything. Curious about what Akantor is going to do versus Bronzor. Actually going to go for a Substitute to block that that possible Toxic. And indeed, Toxic is going to be blocked by the Substitute. Bronzer is going to take a little more damage from Burn, but that Burn is barely doing anything. So Benji's definitely going to want to hit past that if he wants to deal with Bronzer and not just burn it. An Earthquake from Akantor is going to do quite a bit, 41%. Oreburgh goes for its own Earthquake, hitting that Substitute and causing it to fade. And Akantor is going to go for a Brick Break that does about 30%. One more hit will cause Oreburgh to go down. But Oreburgh is going to switch out into Ivysaur, who is going to take that Brick Break, I'm guessing. Actually, no, it's an Earthquake. A critical hit Earthquake is going to deal 24%, but this Ivysaur is pretty bulky. I'm guessing it does have Eviolite attached. Akantor goes for that Substitute, and Ivysaur is going to go for the Leech Seed, but because of Substitute, it does not work. Substitute was a pretty good decision by Benji in this one. Dragon Claw is going to do about 17%, bringing Ivysaur down below half of its HP, but Synthesis means that it will be able to stall out quite a bit. So it will be tough breaking through this Ivysaur. A Contour just keeps using some attacks to try and break through it, but Ivysaur goes for the knockoff. Substitute's not going to break, so this is going to be a little while, I think, between this back and forth. Dragon Claw once again only doing 18%, so Ivysaur will be able to shrug that off with the Synthesis later, and the knockoff does get rid of that substitute. And away goes a Contour. Solrock is going to come out instead, getting hit by that knockoff, a critical hit knockoff, which removes those leftovers from Agnactor, and the Toxic is going to do quite a little bit of damage. We do know that Agnactor has Flare Blitz, so Bronzer comes in with that Heat Proof to take minimal damage from that Flare Blitz. And indeed, Flare Blitz is the move that Solrock decided to use, taking Bronzer to about half with that burn damage. It's going to go a little under half HP at 49%. And Valstrax, the Lairon, comes in. It is immune to Toxic, so it will not be able to be Toxic by Bronzor, but Bronzor is going to go for the rest. All that damage done on Bronzor for naught, due to the fact that it is now sleeping, and Lava Seoth is going to come out. This is a heat-proof Bronzer, so Lava Seoth might have to do quite a bit to take down this Bronzer. Lava Seoth goes for the Eruption, and a critical hit is going to take down Bronzer. It takes a little bit of damage from that Life Orb, but Eruption at full power, really strong move. And in comes Shellos. Score is now 5-6. Solrock is going to come in to take what I'm guessing will be a Scald. Indeed, it is a Scald, and down goes Agnactor. Shellos is just wiggling. Look at that Shellos move, wiggling about. Score is now an even 5-5, and Barioth is going to come out. Freeze Dry could do some pretty big damage, and Combusken is going to come in. Barioth is going to power up with that Z move and go for the Z Toxic, increasing its defense by 1 stage and toxicking Combusken. Even with an increased defense though, Barioth is going to have a very hard time versus Combusken. Both of its stabs are super effective versus Barioth. Barioth goes for that Protect, and Combusken is going to go for a Sky Uppercut, but Barioth is protected. However, Combusken does have Speed Boost, so I do think next turn Combusken will be able to outspeed Barioth and go for that Sky Uppercut and maybe hit through. Barioth is going to switch away though into Lagacrus, or Lagiacrus. So bad at pronouncing these names. Lagiacrus is going to take that Sky Uppercut. It doesn't do much due to Seadra's pretty nice defense stat. And Combusken's just going to be damaged by Toxic a little bit more. In comes Ivysaur. And Seadra's going to go for a Dragon Pulse, a critical hit dealing 47%, pretty big damage. If it goes first, it will take down Ivysaur, and that's exactly what happens with that Ice Beam. Another critical hit, and down goes Ivysaur. We've seen a lot of critical hits in this match, wow. Shellos is going to be the next one to come in. Shellos is standing between Seadra and the rest of the other Pokemon. Seadra's going to go for a Laser Focus though. And Shellos goes for that Toxic. Laser Focus, I do believe, means that crit will happen next turn. If Seadra has Sniper, that could be pretty good for Seadra. Yeah, that critical hit dealing quite a bit of damage, 48%, but Shellos can recover that off. And indeed, that's what happens. Shellos just going for that really comfortable recover. Lagiacrus is not going to be happy right now due to the fact that its HP is dwindling down. Dragon Pulse is not doing enough to take down Shellos. And we see how bulky and sturdy this Shellos is with that recover. And Lagiacrus being dwindled down. A really important Pokemon for Benji. He's definitely going to want to save it. So he does switch out to Barioth, who can go for a Freeze Dry if it so desires. Shellos going to go for some more recovering, but that does not work. And Breaksin's going to come in. Barioth could either go for a Toxic or a Freeze Dry. This turn it goes for the Toxic, but that Toxic does miss. Barioth still does have good special defense, but Lavasiath is going to be the one to come in to face Breaksin, who also goes for the Toxic. This looks like it's a very Toxic heavy battle. Breaksin's going to use Protect to scout out the move from Lavasiath, and Lavasiath is going for the Hidden Power. What Hidden Power type is it though? I'm going to guess maybe Ground or Rock. Whatever it is a super effective Hidden Power. Breaksin might have access to Wish, however. It does. It goes for the Wish. And with Protect and Wish, it can stall out this Toxic damage on Quilava. So Valstrax the Lairon's going to come in, immune to Toxic. Breaksin going for that Protect, but because it's a switch-in, doesn't work. And Breaksin gets quite a bit of HP back from that Wish. In comes Shellos once again, Noobscorp's premier wall of this battle. Valstrax's going to go for the Rock Slide. It does 17%, not a lot of damage, going to be really hard to break through this Shellos. And a Scald, another critical hit in this battle, dealing quite a bit of damage, bringing Valstrax under the 50% HP mark. And another Toxic, but it's going to miss. And Scald brings down Valstrax, bringing the score to an even 4-4. All of Benji's remaining Pokemon can be Toxic. And Drillbur comes in to take that presumed Toxic from Barioth. But actually it's a Protect that Barioth goes for instead of Toxic. Ice Beam is going to take down Drillbur. And the final three Pokemon are Shellos and the two middle fire evolutions. Combusken's going to come out to face Barioth. But Barioth is going to stall a little bit with some Protect. Sky Uppercut once again not hitting due to the Protect. Barioth might want to switch out to avoid that Sky Uppercut. It does look like Noobscorp does not want to send in Shellos to face Barioth, possibly for fear of Freeze Dry. And Lagiacruz is going to come in. Both of these Pokemon Toxic at 30%. But another critical hit, so many crits in this match, is going to take down Lagiacruz. And Combusken is going to be hurt by a little more poison damage, bringing it down to 21%. In comes Lavasiath the Quilava. And the Sky Uppercut's actually going to miss, as Lavasiath goes for an extra sensory, taking down Combusken. Score is now 2-3, but the Wall Shellos still remains. And speaking of Shellos, here it comes. Shellos going to take a Flamethrower, not going to do that much damage as Lavasiath takes some damage from the Life Orb. Scald is going to be the final nail in the coffin for Lavasiath, who goes down. I'm guessing we'll see Cryogonal come in. Indeed, here is Barioth the Cryogonal. And Breaksin comes in, taking considerable damage from that Stealth Rock. Barioth goes for the Toxic, and it finally hits this time. And Breaksin's now on a timer. Knowing Noobscorp, Breaksin probably going to go for the Wish. Indeed, Wish is now up, and Breaksin at around 50% will be able to recover to near full HP. Although that Toxic damage still is adding up. The Contour is out now, and Breaksin goes for the Protect, ensuring it gets its Wish. Guessing we'll see a substitute. Indeed we do. A Contour is now hiding behind a substitute. Braixen might have trouble breaking it considering Dragon resists fire. And an Earthquake from a Contour is going to do big damage to Braixen. Bring it down to 37%. Braixen's going to go for another Wish. And the Toxic damage brings it down to 12%. That Toxic damage really adding up. Braixen's going to have trouble. He goes for the Protect. Wish is going to bring it back up to 62%, but that Toxic damage is going to bring it right back down into the 30s, I believe. So even though it protected itself from Earthquake, that Toxic is going to do quite a bit. Yeah, 31% taken from that Toxic. And out goes Braixen. In comes Shellos. A Contour is going for that Earthquake. Shellos can't take one more Earthquake. It all comes down to who's faster. And it looks like a Contour is faster, going for the Dragon Claw, taking down Shellos. And the last Pokemon to come in is Braixen. At 6% HP, the Toxic will kill it this turn if a Contour doesn't. And a Contour does, going for the Earthquake, taking down Braixen. And that is a 2-0 victory for Benji's team, the Star Conquerors, over Noobscope's team, the E-Level Gamers. It looks like Noobscope had a really good wall in Shellos, but Shellos had a hard time dealing with Cryogonal, I think because he thought Cryogonal had Freeze Dry. I'm not sure if it did though, considering it had Ice Beam, Toxic, and Protect. I don't know what that last move was, but yeah, Shellos didn't really want to stay in, so Cryogonal was really good at forcing that switch for Shellos, and with that Stealth Rock, a lot of Pokemon on Noobscope's team, namely the Fire types, were taking quite a bit of damage. Also, so many critical hits in that game. So many critical hits. So, really interesting match between the two brothers, and tune in for some more Week 2 matches coming right up. Until then, this is Noel from My Coronet. See you then.